Well lads, give me a second, I'm just trying to organize a party at the moment. There's a couple of key rules to it that I gotta keep in mind. I mean, we've gotta have some games, I need to engage in a little bit of liver failure, and of course I gotta invite my friends, but most importantly, no ducks. Ducking autocorrect.
Parties! We've all been to one. The only way you haven't is if you're not breathing. I gotta start thinking before I say these things. The party game genre was one pretty much dominated by Nintendo. Sure, there were alternatives, but they were always just that. Alternatives. Substitutes. The ones you pull out because you can't play Mario Party, or Mario Kart, or Smash Bros with every item turned on. Look me dead in the eyes and tell me you honestly preferred Kung Fu Panda Showdown of Legendary Legends to Smash Bros as a function. But the party game genre started to evolve, expanding outside of traditional expectations. I'd say around the 2010s was when the genre really had some insane growth, because the best offerings you had before then that didn't have a red plumber on them were... Honestly, my biggest fear is the fact that Amazon lists this as in stock. I mean, one of the biggest party games in recent times would have been Among Us back in 2020, letting party game vibes be accessible to anyone with fingers and an internet connection, because Lord knows the Mario Party available at that time wasn't fulfilling that need.
What are they doing?
Drifting.
It even got to the point where more casual party-like game modes were starting to appear in more competitive games. Overwatch had Total Mayhem, and then there's all the community-made content the Workshop had to offer. There's League of Legends, which has had both Nexus Blitz and Arena in its time, but there's a problem with all of the above. Except Workshop, that one's great. Total Mayhem uses base Overwatch with all the numbers turned up. Lower cooldowns, bigger health bars, which just breaks the game, but not in a fun way. Defenders have a big advantage because of how hard players are to kill, meaning games just become dog piles on the objective. And then League? Well, it's League, isn't it? The game with some of the most notorious balance issues, creating modes intended to make characters purposely broken, ends up with tier lists of who is the most broken.
This party needs something different, something built from the ground up to be a party game, but something that still has enough of a competitive itch to it that people can feel like there's some strategy involved, but also something that has a lot of luck and randomness involved so that anyone can hop in and enjoy it. And again, most importantly, no ducks. I know I already said that was me getting autocorrected, but I've already printed out the sign and by this stage I've got to commit. I ran out of printer ink, so I had to improvise. I hope it's inviting enough.
BapBap, a roguelike party game. I should check out the characters before I play... I'm gonna have to make some changes to this. BapBap is what happens if you take Arena from League and make it into a good game. Pick a character, select teams, or go solo in 8-player lobbies. Gain augments that upgrade stats or even change the function of your abilities, and get points by killing enemies or winning the round. First to 1,000 wins.
It's a party! Where's the fucking alcohol?
So let's start with the most important part of any game that features them, the characters. Well, not all of them. Every BapBap character is really simple and intuitive. You can pick up their kit in just a few minutes and recognize how they're meant to play. Like how Sashimi wants to catch characters in her stunning combos, how Zook wants to create space and hold it with his mines and ranged rockets, or how wants to lock you down and rock your world. Even characters with a little more depth to them can be picked up fast. Froggy and Sophia are a little bit more challenging than the rest, but you can feel them out very quickly. Now, I have a small issue in that only players who sign up during the early access period will have access to every character. Once the game is fully launched, you'll have to unlock new ones, which just doesn't work in this kind of game in my opinion. You do need to keep players engaged with some kind of progression, I understand that, but character unlocks are not the way to do it, especially in a party game where a lot of people will just pick it up on a random Friday night because their friend invited them to. So the amount of fun that they could have will be severely limited because the character they might enjoy the most might not even be accessible to them. Regardless, the entire cast has perfectly acceptable skill floors, but don't let that make you think that they don't have depth. There's loads of small tech for characters. One of my favorites is with TV and her clones. The clones aren't static, they're not like Zed in League. They can be interacted with, meaning items like the launchpad can actually let you send a clone in. So if you go all in on AoE clone damage with launchpads, you effectively have a personal cannon. Universal concepts like spacing, positioning, and mechanical skill are naturally at place, but each ability on every character has several purposes and use times. Returning to one of my favorites, Sashimi. She can enter a fight with her ultimate, follow up with a stun from her secondary in order to land a charged dash before finishing off with her primaries. Or she can launch in with a dash, hit a stun on the secondary before ulting and throwing more hands. And all of this only gets enhanced further with... Alright, I gotta play this game, but I need bodies.
I'm sending this message to anyone with a liver. If you come over right now, we can drink and play a game with no ducks in it. I did not take you as a liver owner.
Oh, I'm not. I just hate ducks.
Part-time or full-time? We gotta know what I'm in for.
Oh, part-time. Like, I hate ducks, but I don't have time for full-blown hating.
Yeah, I can work with that. So what did you bring?
Oh, I got a dog.
It's close enough.
BapBap gives augments between each round. Now the default is 1. If you're a coward, multiple augments is the way to go. It's so much funnier, but realistically, a slower paced match with 1 augment between rounds can be really fun as well. Augments themselves range from, 350 extra health, how kind, to your ultimate now has a 2-second cooldown and is also the size of the moon. And augments are the key to the genius of BapBap's designs. They're why, despite the mechanics being very similar to top-down competitive MOBAs, it functions perfectly as a party game. You could be far better than someone mechanically, but they could get a really strong augment which suddenly turns your matchup even. It's perfect for a party game setting. And on top of that, you gain augments at the start of the game and between each round that you lose. If you win a round, you don't gain any augments, which is so smart for so many reasons. If you're really skilled, you may win several rounds in a row, which means you eventually fall behind in augments and will lose to the stat differential. But the bigger thing is that losing doesn't even feel bad, because every loss means you get a shiny new ability to tack on. This roguelike design in a multiplayer setting is genius. Not only does it work as min-match balancing and a psychological loss aversion, but it also forces each game to be different. Take Zook. One time I was playing him and I had a string of attack speed augments given to me, so I decided to spec fully into my primary fire, adding in a lot of crit chance, bonus crit damage, slows and move speed, all on top of more bonus attack speed, to the point where I would shoot 20 rockets in 2 seconds before realizing my first one turned my opponent into a fine mist. But in the next game, I got an augment which adds a turret to the center of his landmines alongside one that gives a second recast, so I try to focus my build more around ability casting, a lot of cooldown reduction, standard damage increases and augments that gave me more buildings like bear traps and bombs when I used my dash, effectively turning Zook into a walking army base. You can't get the exact augments you want every game. I adore Rock's ultimate and size increase, but I can't consistently get it unless I'm playing in an absolute chaos lobby filled with bonus rerolls and way too many augments, and those are really fun, but sparingly. So the random element forcing you to try out new elements of characters is really fun, especially with how often new augments are currently being added with the game being in early access. Now the augments aren't entirely perfect. I have 2 main complaints with them. The first being that these consumable augments show up far too regularly. They're good. Having an extra dash, sudden shield, or easy knockback are great tools to have, but I feel like I see them so much more often than I should. I'll be hunting for some move speed or ability altering augment, and instead I'll see 12 consumable ones across 5 rerolls, which wouldn't even be the worst thing if it weren't for the fact that they permanently remove an item slot and you can't control which one. So if you already have 2 and find one you'd prefer, it's a coin flip as to which one it will replace. Now another is just entirely my own opinion. I hate Kamikaze. The Kamikaze augment makes you explode after death, dealing 200% of an enemy's max HP, pretty much meaning if I'm going down, you're coming with me. But it completely kills the fun on characters that don't have the mobility or range to escape it. Returning to Rock, unless you get the kill with your throw or even a wall, you have nothing that lets you escape Kamikaze in time. And a lot of the time when a ranged character has their Kamikaze, if they know they're gonna die to you, instead of running away, they'll cut their losses and make sure they're in melee range of you before they die to gain some bonus points on their way out. Is it hilarious? Yes, actually it really is. But when you're in a lobby of 8 people and everyone has Kamikaze, you begin hating not picking a ranged character. Realistically, I don't think it should be taken out or even changed at all, but I just needed to say that it can really take the fun out of a game sometimes, which is not what you want in a party game like this. Regardless, augments are the reason for the fun within BapBap. I've had so many games completely flipped around because I managed to get some insane synergy on my augment pickups, most recently with Sophia. I was in a game with 3 Zooks, and all of them were going for that full army build. As a melee character, that's really hard to deal with. Approaching is difficult, and even if you get on him, he can just dash away. Under normal circumstances, that is. 3 ability altering augments were what saved this game for me. One that means that 1 ultimate charge is all that I need to actually fire off an ultimate compared to 3. another which turns the ultimate into a slow-moving wave, and one more which teleports me to ultimate targets. My game plan became gain ultimate charges, throw waves at the Zooks which would delete their mines, and heavily damage their turrets, and also would end up teleporting me to several different locations, making me way too annoying to hit, and also letting me close the gap for free. This type of build this to counter that is nothing new in games, but it makes BapBap so incredibly addicting, and it never feels unfair when you get blasted because you can always come back with the augment that you've been searching for to flip the game on its head. But then enemies can do the same and you see where this loop is going. Every BapBap match is an ever-evolving ecosystem that I cannot get enough of.
Alright, so if you want, I can take the drink, we can go get this party started.
What is that?
Not a duck.
Oh, I was worried for a second there. So what, we playing this game?
Oh, yeah, we are. Gonna set up a lobby now. Did you bring a laptop with you?
I mean, I got this lady on my lap.
One moment. I didn't think this through.
So BapBap is online only and lobby based, which works fine. There are loads of party games like this, but they're not quite party games. You're not pulling this out with all your friends and sticking it onto the TV, so I'm not sure what to do here. A really important aspect of party games is the where. The core gameplay is always there, and it's always the same. Mario Party has its minigames, Mario Kart has driving and items, Smash has the movesets and the characters, Lethal Company has the item hunting and screaming, you get the idea. But the where is the most important and most fun part of all of these. Mario Party is nothing without its different boards and gimmicks. Mario Kart without its tracks is just Forza. Smash without different stages for new hazards in a casual setting and different platform placements in a competitive one just isn't a platform fighter. And Lethal Company without its different moons would be incredibly repetitive. And all of this is the same for BapBap with its different maps. So I'm going to go through a ranking of all of them because it's really important, trust me. Cache is really fun. It's got these poles you can wind up and dash off. The shop of items giving you 3 options but being cleared after grabbing 1 makes it an interesting choice at the beginning of a game. The shopkeeper also has some lines for when you hit them, which is just kind of funny, and the telescopes in the middle are great for information gathering. Overall, a solid map with no downsides, easy A. Cerberus has all these slime balls around you that can bounce off and shoot to explode and cause others to bounce. The movement possibilities are really cool, and this one character is horrifying when the Zook gains access to it, another easy A. Dojo is like the final destination of BapBap. It has no real gimmick other than a core that spawns in the middle, which gives you a buff depending on whichever one spawned. However, it's really funny to take wall bounce augments on it, so it gets a B+. Sirocco is probably one of my preferred maps. It's sectioned off into pieces, but you can take a moment to open a door to access other areas. It's really fun in team lobbies and very chaotic in an FFA. We'll go with an A-. Worksite is easily my favorite of all the maps. It has so many interactable pieces and locations that force fights to play out differently, with its mix of open spaces and enclosed areas. There's also these cement mixers which stun enemies when they hit them, cranes that you can control to drop cinder blocks on people or create new terrain, and metal pipes. They play the metal pipe sound effect. We're ditching the grading system and swapping to a tiering one, this one's an S. GG Mart has one gimmick which can be described as prop hunt. You can hit these red crystals to turn into different items on the map. I do like it a lot, but it also results in a lot of camping, with players standing still pretending to be objects, which isn't actually as bad as it sounds. The real offender is this tiny, weird outdoor area it has that no one goes to unless they're camping. If it weren't such a pace killer at times, I'd like it more, but currently it gets a high C. Not bad, but not great. Peaks has the complete opposite problem with what effectively amounts to a hot potato. A few seconds into a round, someone will get marked with the skull, which they have to get rid of by damaging other enemies. It used to be a 10 or 15 second cooldown, which was far too short, so it eventually got increased to 20. I'm not the biggest fan of this map, but it has its moments and it can be pretty fun. We'll say B. Rig Town is weird. You can destroy spider eggs along the map, which will then create spiders that fight for you. They don't do much damage, but they can be annoying little feckers to deal with. The map is also entirely enclosed with walls, meaning bouncing augments are hilarious on this. We'll go with another B. Barrio is the white bread of BapBap maps. There's nothing wrong with it, but nothing exciting about it either. It's completely inoffensive. There are these rocks and bin bags that you can destroy, which can drop items or give you stat bonuses, but they're nothing crazy. It also has a basketball court, which does nothing if you score on it. I've also never seen anyone score it in a real game. C. Cantina is funky. It's got a fishing minigame and alcohol that increases your attack while mirroring your controls. I think I'm legally obligated to give it an A. Rooftop is another favorite of mine. It's really big, so it's a lot better when you have the large groups of players, but the wind that'll move objects around and mess with your move speed is quite fun and does kind of offset the size of the map by making it easier to move around on it. I just really like this one and can't properly put it into words. I just vibe with it. Easy S. The maps of BapBap, at their best, are incredibly fun, and at their worst, they're just alright, which I need to say is really good. The fact the worst thing I can say about Barrio is that it just doesn't stand out is great, because so many party games have duds. Pre-Mario Kart 8, every SNES or GBA track remake was one of the least interesting tracks to race on, and Mario Kart 8, you aren't free from this curse either. In every actual good Mario Party, there's always one board no one is interested in. I mean, please raise your hand if you like Wario's Battle Canyon. Well, I raise you a corpse. So with the characters, maps, and of course augments, no BapBap round ever feels the same. I'll pop on for a few rounds with my friends, look at the time, and suddenly it's 1 in the morning. It strikes such a perfect balance between skillful game and absolute tomfoolery. I was telling a bunch of my friends from college about BapBap and we all ended up playing it together. And just some background on all of them. One of them loves fighting games. Another one basically only plays Stardew Valley and Minecraft. There's one who's addicted to Smash Bros and dabbles in hero shooters, and another one who loves card games and board games. All of them adore BapBap. This is the most random set of people, all with different interests when it comes to what games they like to play, yet all of them loved this one. If that doesn't show how good of a game BapBap is, I don't know what will.
If it's so good, give me a go.
Oh yeah, sure. Take a seat.
Wait a minute. I knew it! That is a duck!
Wait, let me explain. I can prove to you that that isn't a duck.
You have 20 minutes, glasses wearing, brown haired white boy. I can find 12 of you in super value for half price.
See, no duck can be that big. Show me one thing that's that massive.
That's what she said.
Get the fuck out of my house. It's a party. Where's the fucking alcohol? I think one of the ones I have will be good enough.
Okay, curiosity. If it's so good, give me a go.
It's so good.
You said curiosity.
I said curiosity, not fucking TikTok arousal.
TikTok arousal?
You got those fuckboys that go like...
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Well, Goofy, let me tell you, the working conditions in this place are god-awful. I can't believe they have me working for this. It's almost like I'm owned by a miserable billionaire company.
You ready? Wait, I'm not ready. What am I saying?
Can you believe this, CC?
Cece, he's making me work like a dog, no offense.
Whoa!
Oh, no offense.
Whoa!
No offense, like, no offense.
Whoa!
I don't yearn for the mines.
Leave her alone.
I'm not.
She done to you.
You have 20 minutes. Something.
You got 20 minutes. I don't know what for, but you got 20 minutes.
You got 20 minutes to die. I don't know. You have 12 minutes.
20.
Fucking. You have 20 minutes. Brown hair, glasses wearing white boy that I can find in super value for half price.
I
forgot the 12.
I can find 12 for you in super value for half price.
I'm gonna do it, Rory.
Persona!